did check number 10 on my math lab.
Hey, do we need to do that survey?
Yes. Remind me.
Spring break.
No.
Not
Oh, yeah,
later.
you can do it during the break. break.
No.
Yeah, we'll just.
We did survey break. Double whammy.
All right.
Thank you. These are good.
Okay, yesterday we were covering 4.3 and we were talking about long division. Then we practiced synthetic division. Synthetic division is when you are doing the division process with polynomials, but it's fake, right? But it works. Okay, hold on. Alright, let's try this again. The takeaway from yesterday, if a polynomial is in factored form, you can quickly read the zeros. This is really important with where we're going for today. If I give you the zeros, you should be able to tell me the factors. You with me? Okay, so that's the same thing. It's just one's one direction and then reverse. You don't. You don't, which is part of 4 forms lesson today. It's where you say this, it's like saying this could be one of the polynomials. Meaning it's not the answer, it's one of the possible answers. Yeah. Yeah, you cannot account for an A in the very front that just has no X at all. All we can account for are the ones that have X's. We did long division twice. We wrote our answer in expanded factored form according to how my math lab wants it. We talked about the safety net of checking your answer before you even go through the process. Like you would know what the outcome's going to be by simply plugging the 0 into the polynomial, and that gives you the remainder. Then we went to synthetic division. I showed you how to do it right here. Let me refresh you because the next slide is where you're practicing and I want you to try it on your own. You write the 0 in the front that comes from the factor that they're asking you to divide by. You check for any gaps and you write the coefficients in the actual synthetic division box. The way you start the process is you bring the first coefficient straight down, and then it's a matter of multiply, add, all the way to the very end. So you multiply the 0 by that first coefficient, you write it here. You can't tell I'm pointing to if you're watching. You write it here, then you add straight down, then you multiply that, write it here, add straight down, then you multiply that. No, what was it? It was this one. You multiply that, write it here, add straight down, and that's your remainder. Then you write it in polynomial form by recognizing that this was a cubic. We factored a linear out, which means we're left with a quadratic, and then you write it in that polynomial form. This is the format of how to write the remainder over the divisor, and that's what you'll write in my math lab. And then this was just to say, here's this function, find f of 10. The point of this was twofold. One, do you remember just how to evaluate a function? What does it look like? It says to find f of 10. Two, this means because I got this number, right? It means 10 is yes or no?
No.
As being a 0.
No.
It is not.
Because it didn't equal 0.
There you go. It is not a 0, which means Now, positive 10 would come from the factor x minus 10, right? If you need help with that, set x equal to 10 and then subtract it over to see what the factor would be. It also means x minus 10 is not a factor if I was to factor that polynomial out completely. It also means, and I've run out of room so I'm not going to write it, that if I was to take this polynomial and divide a 0 into it, 10, I would end up with a remainder of 170,802. So there's like 3 connections there, and it all stems from you plug a number in, and then this is what you get. And then you can talk about it in 3 different ways. Please go to the next slide and try that one. Determine whether 5 is a 0. Gotta get the silicone food on the bottom of it so it doesn't get all wet.
Boo.
How do I do the second one?
What?
What?
Yeah, you want to wait till it's forward?
So every possible way.
Check with the neighbor. Yeah. Say that again.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, set it up.
I hate that cast.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
for example, where do we just plug
I got 0. I got 0.
Well, 4 is asking you determine whether it's a 0, but I want you to do the synthetic division because I want you to practice it.
Oh.
There's 2 ways you can do it. The fast way is just plugging it in, and if you get 0. But I want you to practice with the synthetic division.
What?
Yeah.
Already.
So the number on the outside is 5. Yeah. I didn't get that. Oh, that's the problem. What'd you do? Okay. Look at the polynomial.
It's not in order.
Right? Well, it's in order. What's the problem? There's gaps.
X squared.
Stupid.
2, 4, 2. There you go. You've got x to the 4th. You would need x to the 3rd.
Not 0.
And then you would need x to the 1st. Right?
And we just have to write it all in that little L-shaped thingy
Yes.
with -5 on the outside.
Not -5.
Positive
There-
5, sorry.
Yeah. So that's a common issue is, remember, if they're giving you the factor, hope you're listening, if they're giving you the factor, that means parentheses and it's binomial. Pull the 0 out, right? But if they're giving you the 0, that means you don't have to do that step, it's already there. They're saying, determine whether 5 is a 0. Well, the fastest way to do that is to simply plug 5 in. If you plug 5 in and you get 0, then 5 was a 0, which means it's an x-intercept. If I plug 5 in, do I get 0? Ooh. You do get 0. Double check it. There are some gaps in there. But you don't need the gaps to plug it in. Now I want you to practice the synthetic division though. So the synthetic division would be put the 5 on the outside. Notice I don't change the sign of it because they're already giving me the 0. We got 1, 0, -26, 0, 25. Right? Then some people are like, I don't know what to do first. If you'll remember, draw the arrow. Draw this down. Now it's a combination of multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. And it's kind of like a domino effect because you're moving to the next number every time.
Lauren, I'm gonna do this right now.
So 5 times 1, put it here, add. 5 times 5, put it here, add. With me? 5 times -1, put it here, add. 5 times -5, put it here, add.
Okay, so move just the x fourth, right? And go to the x, 1x third plus
It'd be
5.
the x cubed. Yeah.
Okay, so
So
just
if I said to, write it as a polynomial, this would be x cubed plus 5x squared minus x minus 5.
and then we put that in parentheses.
And it would be times, no, that would be x minus 5. Well, not dividing by a constant, I'm dividing by the 0 from the linear factor x minus 5. Division is a breakdown, right? Every time. Unless you have a little breakdown. But division is always breaking down.
Okay, say like,
So this 5, they've already given it to you as a 0. It's the same thing as if they had said, determine whether the factor x minus 5 is a factor of, we wouldn't say determine in fact. Determine if x minus 5 is a factor. You would pull the 0 out. That's 5. 5. They've already given me the 0. So you think of what did it come from? It came from the linear factor x to the first power. So I'm taking a fourth degree polynomial and I'm pulling a linear factor out, which means I'm left with a cubic.
Nice.
He literally just get cut off. That's someone's fault.
If it said write it in factor form, that's what he was asking. If it said, it didn't ask for that. It didn't even ask for this polynomial. I just wanted you to practice. But if it said, tell me what you got in factored form, you would say x minus 5, parentheses, and then you would put that cubic in the rest of the parentheses. And since we had a remainder of 0, it'd be plus 0. All right, go to the next one.
what's next?
We have cubic polynomial. It says factor it and solve the equation. Did they give us anything to start with?
No.
No. We have nothing to start with, right? So let's just pick a number. Pick a pretty number.
6,
5, 2, 8.
4.
None of these numbers are pretty.
Yeah, they all are. They're great. I was leaning towards 1.
3.648.
Okay. When you pick a number, before I actually run through the synthetic division process, right? That whole dang thing. If I'm trying to actually solve it, I need a remainder of what every time?
0.
0. So before I go through that whole process, what would be the smart check to know if I picked a good number? To plug it in and see if you get 0. So go to your calculator. You could just type it in the y equals and go to the table and find a number that yields a 0 in the y column. But if you don't want to do that, then you can just pick a number. I might pick 1. Just saying. Pick the number 1. Plug it in.
Less word.
Yeah, 1 works. But I want you to see why 4 does work.
So does
Yeah.
4.
Yes.
4. Let's do 4.
You like 4?
I love the number 4.
I like -2.
Wait, 1 yields 0.
-2, yeah, it does. So any single one of you can pick the one you chose. Pick the one you chose, doesn't matter. I'm going to run with 1. So let's take some notes. Pick a number
-2.
that yields 0, meaning when you plug it in, you get 0. So we picked 1, we plugged it in, we got 0, I'm putting a check mark like, okay, I'm good to go. I'm going to work with the number 1. Alright, put the 1 on the outside. There's no sign changing here because that was the 0. That was not a factor, right? No, because this says to actually factor it and solve. That is just one solution. We got to find all of them. Yeah, quit cheating. We don't have the calculator. All right.
On the test.
Okay, back to this. Back to this. Don't lose sight. There's no squirrels.
I'm losing
We're gonna
girls. I'm
focus.
losing a lot of sight.
No squirrels. Are there any gaps?
Yes.
No.
No.
Oh.
Bro, you were the girl.
There are no gaps. Make a note so that you'll remember to check for gaps, okay?
I figured out how to do it. It's so easy.
Y'all staying with me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm paying attention.
No, I'm good.
I'm not
I was out here yesterday. I'm good. Go.
Callie, did you say I lost you?
Oh.
I don't want to.
What's up?
Go ahead and do the synthetic division with the 1. Let's see what you typed in. X cubed
What?
minus 3x.
You make
See
the
that
1.
negative right
Yeah, I
there?
want the banana.
That negative, they're trouble.
Wait, but
Oh, you look at the
Go back
coefficients
to
of the
y
first one.
equals and type over that little one and make it a subtraction
So
sign.
1.
Now
So you write all the coefficients out.
There you do 1. -3. -6. Okay.
Run. Alright, go to the table.
Here's much.
And then pick a number from this column that yields 0.
You bring
Do it
down
all
the
up.
I'm gonna run with 1. Yeah. Alright, we have no gaps, so we're gonna put the coefficients. We got 1, -3, -6, 8.
Yeah.
Draw the arrow,
Bring down.
bring that down, and that's your starting point. 1 times 1, write it here, add. Right? 1 times -2, write it here, add. 1 times -8, write it here. If you don't get 0, but you got 0 when you plugged it in, then something's wrong. Either you plugged it in wrong, or you did the synthetic division wrong. So check that. They should correspond. Now, the directions said to go all the way with this, which is a preview of 4-4. This was a success. We have the remainder of 0. It started as a, what type of polynomial? A cubic. We've just pulled one factor out, so reduce the exponent by 1. So this is a quadratic. Well, guess what we learned in the last chapter? 4 different ways to solve a quadratic. So the last chapter's work is now the finishing steps for this problem. This will factor nicely. Factors of -8, then add up to -2. Now you can see once again why I make factoring the emphasis in the Algebra 2 review.
It's 4 and 2. -4.
And 2. Oh, look at me like that.
Remember the shortcut that I taught you? AX the number, AX the number, and then if A is 1, then you're done with the factoring. If A is not 1, you would have to reduce one of them. We have AX the number, AX the number. My A was 1, so I don't have to go any further into the reducing. Now pull the zeros out of that. These are factors. you need to set them equal to 0 and solve. Or if you already get it in your head, pull the 0 out. What would it be here? What about here? I'm done. Hold on.
I can't see.
He said what I was thinking.
Are you with me?
Are
You're not writing. You're done? Okay, okay. Just getting worried.
This is a college class.
What? Pierce is just so smart. Pierce. Why don't you just like dip the granola, the banana in the granola?
That's too easy.
Maybe that's not how. I don't think it'll work.
This is just how it works.
So, you gotta take it.
Or you could eat half a banana like as a spoon and then.
Pierce,
I
Pierce.
saw someone do it with a
You
cucumber.
carve out the banana and fill it with granola.
It's like cut the banana in half and then
Yeah, that's what I meant
good
by,
idea.
like, run the one
Oh,
point.
yeah. You can make it like
Hello, Caitlin.
you can make it like all one, or you can separate it
Yes.
into two like things.
No.
Like have two,
There.
or make it one.
All right. You're right.
I'm just roll the entire banana in granola.
Roll the
Freeze
banana.
the banana with the granola on it.
Oh, and then cover it in chocolate.
And then cover it in chocolate.
And make it a smoothie.
All right.
Pierce is munching.
So please look up here. We need to wrap up this question because this is not necessarily done. It is done, but it's nice to put your answers in one place. It says factor and solve. Okay, my solutions were
-2, 4, and 1.
okay, hold on. -2, 4, 1. Don't forget the one that started it. If those are my solutions, then what are my factors? X plus 2, X plus 4, X plus 4. And how do you get that quickly?
The opposite.
You look at your solutions and just move everything to the left.
This Holcombe,
Yeah.
if we had, if we had just gotten that factor, how would we know that one would be a special? Like if we didn't do the whole remember we factored only 4 and 8.
That's because we pulled one out. We already factored.
We had already factored
Synthetic
the one out.
division is factoring because you are dividing and breaking it down. It's just not you're used to factoring with the whole parentheses. There's no parentheses.
Okay, yeah, that was our original. So like if that was the original,
Yeah.
that would just be a lot happening.
Your notice you have an extra example on your paper. And mine's not up here for some reason. Alright, look, we have f of x equals x to the 5th plus 32.
Like what happened? Like,
Look at this last example. You will notice that we have a 5th degree polynomial and then it says to evaluate, listen, it says to evaluate 2 plus 3i. This is where you're going to need to be able to
swear.
multiply binomials, okay? So we are going to plug in 2 plus 3i right here. Then I'm going to leave the rest alone. It's to the 5th plus 32.
Now's on top.
So I plugged 2 plus 3i in. You have to clean it up. And I've run out of room and y'all have it. So give me a second. me copy.
I think I do.
All right. Y'all gonna stay with me?
No.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm not feeling like you can.
There's two ways to do this, I think. I don't know if your calculator will work for this or not.
Let's figure it out.
Y'all can do it on the calculator. You know how. Playing.
Whoa.
I'm playing with it. Hold on.
Whoa.
That's all good. Rewords.
Reword that, please.
All good.
Is that right?
I got 27 plus
I hope
12
this is
I.
right.
I got
What'd you get?
27 plus 12 I.
I got 122 minus 597.
I got 154 minus 597.
Yeah, what did I do? Get wrong.
It's 2 plus 3 I. You're a fifth.
I didn't get that, guys. I didn't actually get that. I lied.
Maybe they didn't put
I
it
got
in
154
Did you
minus
put it in parentheses?
597. I got 154 minus 597 I.
Alright, Brody.
You're wrong, Brody.
Brody, you're slow.
Wait, Brody, what'd you get?
Oh, it's that one.
Oh, I have to add
That's not
35.
sale. Oh, it's actually 32.
It's 32.
Same thing.
Wait, what are we doing?
Put it in your
Did you
calculator.
just put 2 plus 3 on? Brody.
I'll make
I
mine.
hate myself. I'm about to be in the same boat as Gary.
I'll make mine.
I might start making TikTok videos with my dog.
He always just says that.
And Mason's dog. Do you remember that video?
No.
Yes.
Wait.
I think our graduating class.
No, I know
Okay, you have to change your mode.
Carson, I did.
Is it CB? Is it CB with the?
2 plus 3 I. Which I is the
No, it's not that
second.
video.
Yeah, I see
The
it.
CBA.
The period.
That's
That's
all.
whatever.
I know.
And then you, I swear to God, this is have to put it to the fifth.
You try to get factored.
What? No, I don't. You get what I'm saying. I was telling you, and then you just like.
I just Wait. But what is that?
It's the fifth, I swear.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah.
Oh, seriously?
Geez, Birdie.
Okay, fixed it.
And then you put that in the calculator, and then you done.
You're slow.
Working it out.
She's literally working it out.
It's 154 minus 597.
Now we have you done how to use your calculator? Wow. That's genius. What?
You don't solve dramas around.
You want to run? What?
Father stretch my hands,
What?
part 1.
You might as well Kanye. You might as well listen to Jesus music.
I know.
Father stretch my hands, part 1.
I'll sing it while we warm up.
At least you didn't
No,
right
I'll
here.
walk over it.
No, that's too offensive. Our warm-ups? Like, that's too offensive. Hey, you can't have a high video.
Does he want us? Which
Everyone
portion
has
do you
everything on my
want to like
screen.
walk out?
We do the whole song.
The beginning.
We run out to the beginning, and then we just
We weren't going to
keep
say
going.
something instead of letting Gaze.
Our class was so bad last year. Noah started telling us to skip songs.
This is why we use a calculator.
Well, I don't
Doing
I
her
don't really
math.
hate
She's using
I don't think she did. I just wasn't about
Using her
Right.
math.
But I'm just saying.
respect. Like, if someone was doing it to me like that, I was gonna get it. Like, I heard the way he said it. Maybe he didn't mean it that way, but I heard it, and it seemed
Oh,
like
there's
he
part
just
two.
wanted to get rise out of Kinsley. That's what everyone wanted, was for Kinsley to look stupid. And that's awful. That's horrible to want to just gang up on somebody just because we're mad at her. We're not even mad at her. Not everyone's even mad at her. She's,
I'd rather run out to Los Angeles.
what I don't get is,
I'd
She was
rather.
mad at us for
Hey,
a while.
you're not allowed to have
We
music.
stopped
It's
like being
defensive.
friends. She stopped
you're
singing
not
with us
allowed
and
to
every
have
time
music.
she's so sad. I want her back. And then she comes back and y'all are mad at
No,
her.
they're not allowed to
And
have
it's not even
music.
really anybody. It's
Oh.
Katie and Summer.
What'd you do wrong?
That's not anyone else's fault. That's yours. You talk to her. If you don't want to sit at lunch here, don't sit at lunch here.
What?
What?
Wait, why was it me?
Chloe, I'm sorry about that today. What did I do?
Imagine you being a dog and be like,
Wait. What did I? Wait.
How to be mad at you when you just know?
What's
yeah,
I supposed to do?
Lay back down,
You
bud.
listen to your life. Was I supposed to pick up the socials?
Yeah, you don't know.
Now it's that she dropped something.
This will do.
He was helping.
Hey, listen. And I give these to my t-shirt.
Is there a cat here?
yes, you.
It's you.
Wait, she does that in the paint.
I heard you were cleaning yourself the other day.
Listen, that was before the intro. The intro knocked that out.
How did it get there?
Did it though? Because I think it's
I'm not
So
me.
why are you in here?
I don't have the energy. Oh my god.
That's so gross.
Oh.
Last game.
Right now, it's orange.
I was there. I had
Two left
to
fingers. Become a
You think we will?
Hey guys, welcome back to me and Addison's show. What you do? ASMR with ANA.
And Holcombe doesn't play, so I don't win.
I mean, we're a poverty program.
We didn't even do one.
Hope you enjoyed that.
I mean, I don't know.
And I hope you know that Miss Holcombe isn't crazy if she thinks we're gonna do this without a calculator. I hope this is on the test, because like,
Batman boxer.
that's insane.
Yeah, that's what I got my calculator.
Did you do the answer?
I'm gonna.
Hey, you got the answer!
What you have to do both?
I hope y'all haven't heard any of these conversations. This is crazy.
That was like a,
Yeah, wait.
Is that what you got, Addison? Is it calculator?
I wrote this one on
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that one. 150 minus 597.
At 32.
Oh,
How did you do that? Yeah.
Miss Holcombe is a
Hey,
math pro.
okay, so please take this in.
No.
I'll snap a little pic real quick.
We're not
Wait,
right.
let me move. I don't want to be in it.
I'm not right.
Get up here and just gonna sit on Bruce's desk for a second.
So,
So,
Your Instagram reel with your two besties in the hotel room was very interesting. One of them
She
was
just having a
twerking.
fun time in the hotel room.
she's the principal.
No!
I'm in elementary school.
No, and your account's public.
well, but she's
Yeah, I
a
didn't
college
tag her.
teacher.
I
She's a
didn't
college.
tag her.
What are y'all talking about?
I didn't tag her.
I feel sorry.
So
By the way, Miss Allison came by and closed the door.
Yeah, Miss Allison.
And I
You weren't here.
bought
You're
I
on
wasn't
the
here.
list.
You're not aware of your surroundings. Right?
Okay, listen, Linda. What I've done is I've worked it out by hand at the very, like right here. I realized I multiplied -5 and -5, and I wrote -25, so it messed up my entire problem. But anyways, I went back and I fixed it.
That's what you get for gossiping.
So listen,
Huh?
you don't have to work it out by hand. We do have the mode and the calculator. Obviously, you already saw.
I didn't say a word yet.
You already
Listen,
saw how to go in and do that.
Listen.
But it'd be nice if you know what is happening when the calculator is evaluating that. The way that you do this, and you are college level, okay, level up. Don't be like my geometry students. They get turned lazy. This is a 5th degree power right here. That means there should be 5 of them. So I have 2 here, and 1 here. Because I can only work with squared at a time, you know? So I worked with the squared, repeated it, and then brought the 1 down. I cleaned up the I squared. We've talked about this. Cleaned it up, condensed it. Then I had the exact same thing times itself, which is the same thing as the squared. Multiplied it out. cleaned up the I squared, which becomes a negative, combined like terms, and then multiplied the last set together, cleaned up the I squared, combined like terms, and then added 32.
See, this all makes sense.
You can put 4, 3 up. You're about to get 4, 4.
Is this the awful one?
Do we have like a 2-minute break?
Like a 5 minute
Well, are we
break.
starting?
Yeah, you promised to bring it.
Yeah.
We were supposed to finish this yesterday. Thank you. You have 4 minutes.
4?